Top of the day, beautiful people. Top of the day. Hold on, y'all, pulling my notes. All right, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday. It is March the 30th, 2022. Day 69 of year 4, reading through the books of the Law and the Prophets. Another 4-year consecutive day count, day 1087. Today we're going to finish reading Tablet U, and then we're going to possibly read all of chapter 33 in my big toe. We might get through it, might not, just depending on how much of Tablet U we have left. All right, beautiful people. Shayla, great rising. Rita, good morning. Mom, shalom, shalom. Jen, good morning. Audrey, shalom. Auntie, hey, girl, hey. Thanks for the life check. Lavon, blessings, blessings. Thank you, mother. I'm 43 years old today. Today is my birthday, born day. Happy born day to me. 43 years old. Some women don't like to share their age, but I don't care. I've never really got it. You know? I mean, I figure you should age like a fine wine. Maybe I haven't even gotten to the actual refining yet to where it smells like a fragrant wine just yet. I don't know. Got a few more years before I even get to that process. I think I'm still fermenting in the pot. All right, y'all. With that being said, thank you, y'all. All right, Father, help us stay on track today, because I got to get out of here, y'all. We got to get out of here early today. Got an early appointment, and I had to we 15 minutes late because my mornings are just getting a little more busy. I had to finish something. I had to send something before we started. OMG. I ain't gonna say the time is stressful, but oh my gosh, we're in the process of trying to buy a home. Oh man, but I swear for Bob, every house that we say we're gonna put the offer in on that, somebody beat us to the punch. It's like we better move a little bit faster. So sheesh, when they say the housing market is crazy, it's like, how is it this crazy? Like, we're just coming out of pandemic. Everybody going to a pandemic and they just feel like they want to buy a house. Everybody have all this extra money sitting around while y'all jacking these prices up sky high on these homes. Everybody just decide, let's just buy a house. We don't have anything else to do, right? Granted, people don't start going back to work, but this is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And the houses are way overpriced, but it is what it is. Thank you, Auntie Tiffany. Thank you. Oh, great spirit. Thank you. Yes, and peace and blessings to all of you as well. Thank you. All right, y'all. So we pause. Thank you, Zoe. We pause on page 330 right here at the top. So it's picking back up at the courtship of Ishtar and Dumuzi. And let me see how many pages we got left. All right. About 6 pages. All right. Amanda, thank you. Shalom, shalom. All right, y'all. The courtship of Ishtar and Dumuzi. The brother spoke to his younger sister. The sun god, Shamash, Utu, spoke to Inanna, Ishtar, saying, Lady, the flax in its fullness is lovely. Ishtar, the grain is glistening in the furrow. I will work the ground for you. I will work the ground for you. What? It says, I will work the ground for you, it for you. Maybe that's just some extra words, right? I will work the ground for you. I will bring the grain to you. But a piece of linen cloth, big or small, is always needed. Ishtar, I will bring it to you. And Nana Ishtar said, Brother, after you brought me the flax, who will comb it for me? Shamash Utu replied, Sister, I will bring it to you combed. And Nana Ishtar said, Utu, after you have brought it to me combed, who will spin it for me? And Shamash Utu responded, Inanna, I will bring it to you spun. Inanna Ishtar said, Brother, after you bought the flax to be spun, who would braid it for me? I'm like, look, girl, you want a lot. And Shamash Utu responded, Sister, I will bring it to you braided. Inanna Ishtar said, Utu, after you brought it to me braided, who will weave it for me? Like, okay, before we go any further, what's the end result for this flax? Are we building something? Let's just talk about the building plans right now. We'll talk about the end from the beginning, so you don't have to keep asking us these questions after every juncture, right? Trina, hey girl, hey. And Shamash Utu replied, Sister, I will bring it to you woven. Inanna Ishtar said, Utu, after you've brought it to me woven, who will bleach it for me? And Shamash Utu responds, Inanna, I will bring it to you bleached. Angered now, Inanna Ishtar demanded, Brother, after you brought my bridal sheet to me, who will go to bed with me? Who Utu will sleep with me? Shamash Utu calmly replied, Sister, your bridegroom will go to bed with you. He who was born from a fertile womb, he who was conceived on the sacred marriage throne, Dumuzi, the shepherd, he will go to bed with you. And Nana Ishtar spoke, No, brother, I want the farmer. Oh, I guess Dumuzi ain't good enough. No, brother, I want the farmer. He is the man of my heart. He gathers the grain into the great heaps. He brings the grain regularly into my storehouses. Shamash Utu said, Sister, you should marry the shepherd. Why are you unwilling? His cream is good. His milk is good. Whatever he touches shines brightly. I'm going to be good. Inanna Ishtar, marry Dumuzi, you who adorn yourself with the agate necklace of fertility alone. Why are you unwilling? Dumuzi will share his rich cream with you. You who are meant to be the king's protector, why are you unwilling? Still angry, Inanna Ishtar then spoke, The shepherd, I would not marry the shepherd. His clothes are coarse, his wool is rough. I will marry the farmer. The farmer grows flax for my clothes. The farmer grows barley for my table. Then Dumuzi arrived and said, Why do you speak about the farmer? Why do you speak about him? If he gives you black flour, I will give you black wool. If he gives you white flour, I will give you white wool. If he gives you beer, I will give you sweet milk. If he gives you bread, I will give you honey cheese. I will give the farmer my leftover cream. I will give the farmer my leftover milk. Why do you speak about the farmer? What does he have more than I do? Laughing, Inanna Ishtar replied, Shepherd boy without my mother, Ningal, you'd be driven away. Without my grandmother, Ningukuga, you'd be driven to the abyss. Without my father, Nana, you'd have no roof. Without my brother, Utu Shamash, ... Dumuzi interrupted. Inanna, do not start a quarrel with me. My father, Inki, is as good as your father, Nana. My mother, Surtur, is as good as your mother, Ningal. My sister, Geshtiana, is as good as yours, Eresh Kagal. So, queen of the place, let us talk it over, shall we? I like that. So, queen of the place, let's talk it over, shall we? Y'all want to hear something funny? Okay. Trina said, y'all, she don't want no cream. She want a thug. Look, yesterday, right? So yesterday, I was gonna use the title and I said it, but I didn't use it. If y'all was here paying attention, I said I was gonna use this title, but I didn't, right? I thought it I thought it was catchy. But maybe it was a little over the top for yesterday. I don't know. What I said was this verse where it says he oiled his strap and slung his bow. I was gonna use that, right? So after we ended the video, I saw a couple things in my big toe that I would possibly use, right? So after we ended the video yesterday, I started thinking about it again. Okay, which verse should I use? I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use this one from the complete Annunaki Bible, right? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna use that one over my big toe. But as I literally said it out my mouth, I knocked my pen off this little table that I got my stuff sitting on, and it was punched out so you can write. This joker fell down. I've never seen a pen fall just straight like a dagger, like somebody shot it out an arrow, right? Normally a pen will fall and it'll do its little flips and hit the floor. No, it's like I saw it in slow motion. When I knocked it off the table, as I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and use this verse from the complete Annunaki Bible. The pen falls. I like bumped the table, knocked it off by mistake. The pen falls straight down with this point, and guess where it lands? Anybody want to guess where it landed? Somebody please guess where it landed. Somebody guess. Just somebody. Just make a good guess. Make a good guess. Yes, in my foot. You know exactly where on my foot? Right in my big toe. Right in my big toe. I was like, oh, I did like that because it hurts. It felt like it came down with force, and there was a dent in my toe with the blue ink mark. And after I did that, I just started laughing. I'm like, okay, I won't use that verse. I'll use one from my big toe. Some people say, well, maybe that wasn't, I'm like, yes, it was. It was a sign for me. That was not coincidence. It was funny. Because some other things I was thinking about, I was like, yeah, I really want to use that one, but I felt like I shouldn't. I was going to push it, right? But yeah, then the pen fell and stabbed me in my big toe. I'm like, oh, all right. I'll use one from my big toe. It was funny. Okay. This has nothing to do with the reading today at all. So, Queen of the Palace, let us talk it over, shall we? The words they had spoken between them were words of passion and desire. From the starting of the heated quarrel came the lovers' desire for each other. Dumuzi, the shepherd, went to the royal house with cream. I bet he did. He went to the royal house with milk. Before the door, he called out, "Open the house, my lady, open the house." And Nana Ishtar ran to the arms of Ningal, her mother. Ningal counseled her daughter, saying, "My child, this young man will be your father. My daughter, this young man will be your mother. He will treat you like a father. He will care for you like a mother." Still, Dumuzi called, "Open the house, my lady, open the house." Inanna Ishtar, at her mother's command, bathed and anointed herself with scented oil. She covered her body with a royal white robe. She readied her dowry. She arranged her precious lapis lazuli beads around her neck. She took her seal in her hand. Dumuzi waited expectantly. Inanna Ishtar opened the door for him. Wait a minute, ain't this the same Inanna Ishtar that we read about in the Lost Book of Enki? To where Dumuzi was tricked by, I believe it was Inanna Ishtar's her cousin or something like that. And went in there was like, she ain't the one you really want. You want me because it'll give you access to the throne. You will have a son that'll sit on it. What, ain't this the same too? That's I'm almost certain it is. We're gonna keep reading. But then Dumuzi got tricked in the process, and he actually died early, right before they got married. Of whom in the Lost Book of Enki, it seemed like they were over the top for one another. They were like completely in love, and they was like, "Let's go to my mother and see if she will accept you." Right? That's what I thought I read. Hold on. Maybe that's another vantage point. We'll see. Maybe this was before she actually fell in love with him. We'll see. Dumuzi waited expectantly. Inanna Ishtar opened the door for him. Inside the house, she shined before him like the light of the moon. Dumuzi looked at her joyously. He pressed his neck close against hers. He kissed her. Inanna Ishtar then said, "What I tell you, let the singer weave into a song. What I tell you, let it flow from ear to mouth. Let it pass from old to young. My vulva, the horn, is the boat of heaven, is full of eagerness like the new moon." Lord have mercy, what am I reading? Look, hold on, y'all. Who will plow my vulva? Who will plow my high field? Who will plow my wet ground? I am a young, beautiful woman. Who will plow my vulva? Who will station the ox there? I'm gonna keep reading. Who will plow my vulva? I cannot use that as a title for today as much as I really want to. Dumuzi smiled and said, Great lady, the king will plow your vulva. I, Dumuzi the king, will plow your vulva. Inanna Ishtar screamed, Lord have mercy. I am so glad my husband not down here at this point. Look, hold on. I, Dumuzi the king, will plow your vulva. Inanna Ishtar screamed, Then plow my. Okay, let me be serious. Hold on. I am an adult. I should not be laughing at. Okay. Inanna Ishtar screamed, Then plow my vulva, man of my heart, plow my vulva. Do it now. Oh, they would turn, Shayla. He definitely would be clowning, Trina. Okay. Next section. When after the king's lap stood the rising cedar, plants grew high by their side, grains grew high by their side, gardens flourished luxuriantly. Inanna Ishtar sang in delight. He has sprouted. He is fertile growth planted by the water. He is the one my womb loves best. I bet it's better than a farmer now. You don't want the farmer no more. Give me the king the music. Look, yo, Dana, he was out there plowing, right? Everything was fertile. The cedar had risen. It is full grown. Now it's time to bear some fruit and give you some fruit. Inanna Ishtar sang in the light, he has sprouted. He is fertile growth, planted by the water. He is the one my womb loves best, my well-stocked garden in the plains. Look, her mind changed instantly. Oh, this is what you're working with over here in your garden. Stricken that last comment from the tablets, the farmer, going with King. Hey, King. My barley growing high in its furrow, my apple tree which bears fruit up to its crown. He is fertile growth, planted by the water. I mean, that's not really. I mean, it's good to say that, but if his tall cedar trees is the only thing that changed your mind, like sis, you got other issues going on because I'm just saying, we'll save the conversation for another day. My barley, she was so shallow. Forget the thug, the king got it rocking. Look, my barley growing high in its furrow, my apple tree which bears fruit up to its crown. He is fertile growth, planted by the water. My honey man sweetens me always. My Lord, the honey man of the gods. I don't know. We might use that. It's a little more uh, let's say the title won't draw sexual deviance to the page looking for stuff that's not there, right? Which is probably why I wasn't supposed to use that title because different people that come in, they leave porn links. I'm like, they y'all just don't care. Have you no clue about yourself at all? Can't leave those kind of links here. This is not that kind of party. My Lord, the honey man of the gods. He is the one my womb loves best. His hand is honey. His foot is honey. He sweetens me always. My eager man who caresses my navel. My man who caresses my soft thighs. He is the one my womb loves best. Oh, how I love him. You love him now. He is my fertile growth, planted by the water. And the Muzi sang, O great lady, your breast is your field. Inanna Ishtar, your breast is your field. Your broad field pours out the plants. Your broad field pours out grain. Water flows from on high for your servant. Bread flows from on high for your servant. Pour it out for me, Inanna Ishtar. I will drink all you offer. I bet. And Nana Ishtar said passionately, Y'all, what is we reading? Look, this kind of sounds like the Songs of Solomon, but this is a little more X-rated than Songs of Solomon. Okay, hold on. And Nana Ishtar said passionately, "Make your milk sweet and thick for me, my bridegroom. My shepherd, I will drink your fresh milk. My wild bull, Dumuzi, make your milk sweet and thick." Whoa, I gotta get my mind out of the gutter. "I will drink your fresh milk." She probably really is talking about milk from his flock. Like, seriously, like the livestock animals. It probably, maybe not. "My wild bull, Dumuzi, make your milk sweet and thick. I will drink your fresh milk." I'm sorry, I really am an adult, y'all. Okay, I feel like I'm reading smut on the internet. Okay, hold on. "I will drink your fresh milk. Let the milk of the goat flow in my sheepfold." She is not talking about goat's milk. "Fill, hold on. Fill my holy churn with honey." Wait a minute. We could learn a thing or two from them. Wait a minute. Hold on. "Fill my holy churn with honey cheese. Lord Dumuzi, I will drink your fresh milk. My husband, I will guard my sheepfold for you. You better. I will watch over your house of life, the storehouse, the shining, quivering place which delights. Yep, the house which decides the fate of the land, the house which gives the breath of life to the people. I, the queen of the palace, will watch over your house." Dumuzi spoke. "My sister, I will go with you to my garden. Inanna, I will go with you to my garden. I will go with you to my orchard. I will go with you to my apple tree. There I will plant the sweet honey covered seed." Inanna sang. "He brought me into his garden. My brother Dumuzi brought me into his garden. I strode with him among the standing trees. I stood with him among the falling trees. By the apple tree, I knelt as is proper before my brother." Hold on. Y'all, she knelt before the apple tree. Okay. You're welcome, Pootie. "I strode with him among the standing trees. I stood with him among the fallen trees. By the apple tree I knelt, as is proper, before my brother coming in song, who rose to me out of popular leaves, who came to me in the mid heat before my lord, Dumuzi. I poured out plants from my womb. I placed plants before him. I poured out plants before him. I placed grain before him. I poured out grain before him. I poured out grain before my womb." She sang louder. "Last night, as I, the queen, was shining bright. Last night, as I, the queen of heaven, was shining bright. As I was shining bright and dancing, singing praises at the coming of the night, he met me. My Lord Dumuzi met me. He pushed his hand to mine. He pressed his neck close to mine. My high priest is ready for the holy loins. My Lord Dumuzi is ready for the holy loins. The plants and herbs in his field are ripe. Dumuzi, your fullness is my delight." Claude, have mercy. She called for it. She called for it. She called for the bed. This is smut on the internet, y'all. Look, she didn't completely forgot about the farmer dude. She was calling, but I don't want no Demuzi. Bring me the farmer. I want the farmer, right? We want Farmer John. Farmer John ain't got nothing on Demuzi, the king. Okay. She called for it. She called for it. She called for the bed. She called for the bed that rejoices the heart. She called for the bed that sweetens the loins. She called for the bed of kingship. She called for the bed of queenship. And Nana Ishtar called for the bed. Let the bed that rejoices the heart be prepared. Let the bed that sweetens the loins be prepared. Let the bed of kingship be prepared. Let the bed of queenship be prepared. Let the royal bed be prepared. She spread the bridal sheet across the bed. She called to the king, "The bed is ready." She called to her bridegroom, "The bed is waiting." He put his hand in her hand. He put his hand in her yeah. He put his hand in her hand. He put his hand to her heart. Sweet is the sleep of the hand to hand. Sweeter still is the sleep of the heart to heart. Inanna Ishtar said, "I bathe for the wild bull. I bathe for the shepherd Dumuzi. Oil perfumes my sides with ointment. I coated my mouth with sweet smelling amber. I painted my eyes with kohl. He shaped my loins with his fair hands. The shepherd, Dumuzi, filled my lap with cream and milk. He, what? They are not talking about the flock. Listen to this next verse. The shepherd, not the farmer, the shepherd Dumuzi filled my lap with cream and milk. He stroked my pubic hair. He watered my womb. He laid his hands on my holy vulva. He smoothed my black boat with cream. He quickened my narrow boat with milk. He creased me on the bed. He folded it up. Hold on, y'all. I am really an adult. Hold on. We got a couple more verses. I just never thought I'd be reading something like this out loud in public. Hold on. He creased me on the bed. Now I will caress my high priest on the bed. I will caress the faithful shepherd, Dumuzi. I will caress his loins, the shepherd of the land. I will decree a sweet fate for him. Sis, I bet. Look, whew, buddy, that is the end of Tablet U, right? I'm glad we saved that for today because I don't know. That's just a good way to start the morning off, right? Where we at? We're at 27 minutes. I gotta hurry up. Let's see what the actual time it is. 7:58. Okay. All right, y'all. So we're not gonna comment too more about that, right? I'm gonna just leave it right where it is. Otherwise, we just will not finish today. Let me put 3:30. Pause on 3:36, right? Tablet V, tomorrow we're gonna start, is the Book of Variations and Fluctuations. The title it's gonna be a good title today. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I get stabbed in my big toe again and be like, nope, don't use it. We'll see. Okay, chapter 33. Let's come back to reality, people. Chapter 33 of My Big Toe. Infinity gets too big for real britches. Okay, and so this we might not. Okay, it's a few pages. We'll see if we finish it. We got to be gone by 8:30. Okay. In this chapter, the concept of and necessity for a finite aum will become clear. You will see that aum does not need to be infinite or anywhere close to infinite to generate all the reality we can comprehend. In the biological world of physical matter reality, large biological cells must seem infinitely big to atoms. Let's translate that comparison of scale to our universe. If our entire universe was like a single atom in the apparently infinite cell of something much bigger, we actually couldn't care less because, from our minute perspective, the really, really big stuff isn't important to us. Whether that cell is actually infinite or not is not an issue. If it is relatively infinite to us, that is good enough to account for everything we can know. From the smallest thing that we think we know exists, subatomic particles, to the largest thing we know exists, the universe, about 100 orders of magnitude, 10 to the 100th power, are spanned. The numbers 10 and 100 are not particularly big numbers. If there were some big thing as much bigger than our entire universe, hold on, what? If there were some big thing as much bigger than our entire universe as our universe is bigger than a subatomic particle, then this big thing would be only 200 orders of magnitude bigger than one of our subatomic particles. If this big thing were itself to be the relative size of a subatomic particle to something even bigger, and if that even bigger thing was to be the relative size of a subatomic particle to something even bigger yet, are you following me here? Our entire universe would be a single electron to a universe that is also as an electron to a universe that is also as an electron to a universe. Four nested universes, one inside the other, each being at a size ratio of 10 to the 100th power to the next. Hang in there, y'all. I think you will agree with me that final that I think you will agree with me that final universe is really, really big. This colossal, really, really big thing is only 400 orders of magnitude bigger than one of our own tiny electrons. And guess what? That's only 10 to the 400th power. And everyone knows that 10 and 400 are not big numbers. Already, we have slipped beyond the far edges of your ability to comprehend. What about, I think this is a billion, 10 billion, question mark. It's just a one and a bunch of zeros. I think it's a billion or a gazillion. I don't know. I just made it up. That is a one with 100 billion zeros. Okay, 100 billion. Okay. That is a one with 100 billion zeros between it and the decimal point times bigger than an electron. That much magnitude would allow a billion nested universes existing one within the other, each being the relative size of a single electron to our universe to the next larger universe. I can write these numbers in a few seconds, taking up only a few inches of paper. Are we close to infinity yet? No way. These are still relatively infinitesimal numbers compared to infinity. Nevertheless, we have gone far beyond the size that represents something your imagination can begin to comprehend. What about a trillion zeros? And still, we are not yet a tiny, minuscule fraction of the way to infinity yet. How many zeros could you write in your lifetime? How many times could you write the word trillion? Even at that, we wouldn't be close to infinity. We could always take that number and raise it to an exponent equal to itself. Do you get the idea of how unnecessarily big infinity is when you're talking about a real thing? AUM is a real thing, and apparently infinite something, but actually quite finite. All the PMRs and NPMRs are real things. Reality is a real thing. Infinity is far too big for real things. You see, Aeon doesn't need to be infinite. In fact, the concept of infinity brings with it all kinds of logical inconsistencies, such as infinite processes that require infinite time and infinite energy, which are always unavailable to anything real. Consequently, it is sufficient for AM to be only relatively infinite, apparently infinite. What? Consequently, it is sufficient for AM to be only relatively infinite, apparently infinite. This is enough to suit our purposes. In your mind, let the word infinity be a metaphor, not a defined mathematical abstraction. Infinite makes a handy mathematical concept, but a very misleading adjective in front of a real extant noun. While we're on the subject of big real things, being small relative to the abstract concept of infinity, let's talk about time and infinitesimal things. It is the same drill. For the sake of comparison, let's resurrect the numbers we made up in chapter 31 of this book. I bet you didn't know there have been less than 10 to the 18th power of our tiny little seconds that have tick-tocked away since the Big Bang formed in our universe. In case you were wondering, those 10 to the 18th power seconds would consume only about 10 to the 62nd power physical matter reality delta t time quanta. Recall that 1 delta t equals 10 to the negative 44th second. Break a second into billions of pieces, and you get a nanosecond, which is ns. Less than 10 to the 27th power nanoseconds have come and gone since the Big Bang went kaboom. Break a nanosecond into another billion pieces, and you get a nanosecond. And you get a nanosecond. There have been less than 10 to the 36th power nanoseconds since the Big Bang, and less than 10 to the 45th power billionths of a billionth of a second, NS, ticked away since our universe began. It is surprising that a 10 NS long delta T time increment about 10 to the negative 44th power seconds could be small enough to make our gigantic physical matter reality, nanoseconds, seem absolutely continuous, and that the number of them that has ticked away for much longer than our universe has been forming remains a relatively tiny number compared to infinity. Y'all ear smoking yet? Just hanging in. We're almost done. No doubt a trivial number for an apparently infinite AM to track. There is another important point here. Besides the fact that AM is finite and real and maintains a huge excess capacity that allows it to do, think, create, and be much, much more than we can imagine. You only need to realize that we exist in and have the capacity to comprehend only a tiny, tiny, minute, infinitesimal fraction of the possibilities for existence. We have seen above that many entire universes, each progressively larger than ours, by the same amount that our universe is larger than an electron, can coexist with us within our finite 3D space-time reality. Likewise, in the opposite direction, many realms may exist that are each progressively smaller than ours. These scaled up and scaled down universes would not evolve carbon-based humans and critters resembling us. Our physical matter, composed of the elementary particles, atoms, and molecules that we are familiar with, is nicely suited to our own scale and ill-suited to drastic changes in scale. However, that is not to say there could not exist enough weird stuff, totally unlike our matter, that has evolved forms and structures appropriate to its own scale that have enough complexity, memory, and processing power to evolve intelligent life forms. Y'all know. Okay. Let me just keep reading. Hold on. Why? Because Mother Nature is one aggressive babe. Why not? Because you do not have the capacity to conceive of it. Why would a rational person who wasn't hopelessly optimistic about the completeness of their knowledge believe that our personal and collective ignorance and limitations should logically constrain the possibilities of creation? Our contemporary objective knowledge base sets the limits on what we can collectively imagine, much less comprehend, and is unlikely that our little picture science can ever hypothesize more than a minute fraction of the possibilities of creation. Regardless of how hard we all try, all we can conjure up are various versions of ourselves because that is all we know. There is a there is little point in speculating beyond the limits of your vision. Appreciating your inherent limitations and applying open minded skepticism to your logical and scientific processes constitute the only approach to exploring the big picture that makes sense and produces results. Any other approach will eventually lead you to paint yourself into a corner with broad strokes of belief and arrogance. We can barely comprehend or even wildly imagine only a very small slice of the potential 3D space-time possibilities for existence within our own 3D space-time, much less existences in other 3D space-times with other dimensions. much less existence outside of 3D space-time, but within non-physical matter reality, and much less existence outside of non-physical matter reality in, but within non-physical matter reality. If that made any kind of sense to you, explain that in the comment section. I told y'all when I was listening to this, every time I listen to this, I probably completely zoned out at these last few chapters. Could they have evolved consciousness, critters, objects, energy patterns, or other structured stuff? No one says they, their matter, their environments, or their governing rule sets, physics, must necessarily be like us, our matter, our environment, or our rule set. In a digital consciousness reality, anything that can be conceived is possible. Anything with a rational structure, rule based, and with enough potential and complexity will eventually evolve to a more highly organized, lower entropy system of systems. We are not alone. Reality is teeming with intelligent life forms. In fact, we humans and non physical entities of OS are relatively minute, like one small school of fish in a gigantic ocean of sentient life. When you learn to move your awareness between dimensions, you will be amazed at the diversity of life forms that share our consciousness ecosystem. And I think we're going to pause right here. We only got like 2 pages left, but I think I'm going to pause right here. So we'll be done with this Wednesday. So Friday we'll be done. This last chapter is literally like a page and a half. So we'll take 2 more days, but I'm definitely gonna pause right here because I gotta get ready to get out of here in like 15 minutes. So I hope y'all enjoyed the reading for today. Look, I want to share something crazy with y'all. Hold on. Look. Let me tell you. Non-physical matter reality, the spiritual realm, or Yah, has an amazing sense of humor. I've been meaning to tell y'all this for like the last 2 weeks, right? Okay, so about 2 weeks ago, we took the kids to a matinee. We went to the Cinema Cafe, right? And we went to go see the new Spider-Man movie, right? We love Marvel movies. Anything action-packed, that's us. We did. Look, but since COVID, we've been doing a lot of movie watching, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, or whatever. But we realized since the movies had opened back up, still weren't too many people coming back in because they were still afraid of the contact, catching COVID from other people and stuff. But me and my husband checked it out and we realized when you go, you pretty much still have the movie theaters to yourself, right? So I was like, yeah, let's go, right? So we'll purchase our tickets online and we'll check the theater that we're going to be in because it lets you choose your seats. And when you go to the Cinema Cafe, you can order food and you get these reclining chairs and stuff, right? So it's 7 of us, right? The 5 kids that still live with us and me and my husband, right? So in the particular theater they had it in, they had a row of 8 seats, right? Now, when I went to purchase the ticket, it looked like there was like 4 seats already taken. It was like scattered throughout. And you could tell it was like 2 couples or 2 people that came together because it was right beside each other, right? So they was both on like the right side of the theater, right? So I chose the left side of the theater in one of the sections that had 8 chairs because it's 7 of us, right? And so I was purchasing the tickets and I said to my husband, I said, you know, it'd be crazy. I said, if we walk in here and somebody chooses that one seat on the row beside us, I said, I'm going to be so pissed. I was like, you know what? And they were probably had done it on purpose, right? And so my husband was just kind of laughing and joking about it, right? And he was like, yeah, there wasn't nobody do that, So mind you, we're the only ones that had purchased the tickets, right? Well, aside from the other 2 couples. And so we got the tickets. The next day, we purchased it the day before. And so the next day we went to a matinee. It was like the 1:00 show, right? Kids was all excited to go see Spider-Man and stuff. We're going through the concession stand, getting their popcorn. Well, no, I'm sorry. They bought it in. So I'm mixing it up with the other day I took the girls. So we didn't go through the concession stand. We went in when we walked in because they actually come in like waiters and they serve you, right? So we didn't get anything going in. We just kind of got the tickets and we went in. But as we was going in, we were in row F, right? Row F, left side of the movie theater when you walk in. And so we walking in, the kids had come in, and we was they was kind of in between me and my husband. My husband was first, the kids was in the middle, and I was, pulling up the tail, right? I was behind in the back. And so we walk over and we see, he was like, okay. So he said, F, F. He said, did you pick row F? I said, yeah, it's F. And so he stopped and we looked, and lo and behold, when we walked in, the whole theater, right? The two couples that I saw that had purchased the seats, we could see they was already sitting in their seats, right? But we walk in, on the whole left side of the theater, there was one person sitting on the left side of the theater. Y'all know what row this woman, Petty Betty, chose. Remind you, we had already purchased our seats first. There was nobody else that was on the left side of the theater, a row of 8 for a family of 7. Nobody. All the rows in front, all the rows in the back. This woman comes in and she picks the same exact row, F, that we're sitting on, the empty seat on the end. All these other seats in this whole theater, you got up here, you got down here, all these seats. You chose the row that was packed with people. We still in the era of COVID. Not that we got COVID or anything, but all these empty seats. You picked this one seat that we left untouched. And so we going in, and when we saw that, I was like, no, that letter got to be wrong. Check it. And so my husband, he said, this is row F and F. And we looked at each other because we was literally joking about this the day before when we purchased it. This woman, single woman by herself, older woman, I'm still kind of hot about it. It gets my blood boiling. And we sitting there like I couldn't even enjoy the whole movie because this thing that me and my husband joked about yesterday, it was like not ever in our wildest dreams that would happen. Something that we joked about. It's a whole movie theater. They let you choose your seats before you come in, right? And you see the seats. Even if you don't purchase your ticket online, when you get there to the ticket stand, they show you the screen, pick your seat. The seats that are blocked out in red, those seats have already been chosen. The transparent ones, nobody is there. So this woman, on purpose, looked for our row of 8. She didn't want to be alone. I'm about to push this old lady out in the aisle and be like, ma'am, do you not see all these other empty seats in this theater? Me and my family of 7 have purchased this row. And you decide to sit right here beside us, right here beside us, right here beside us. Not the row in front, not the row behind. Like literally, like you met us here at the movies, like we know you. You chose this one empty seat beside us. We were sitting there. When we sat there, I sat beside the lady. Normally, when we go to the movies, kids is all in here. I sit here, husband sit on the end. He looked at me. I said, get on the inside. I'm going to sit beside this woman. I'm going to elbow her. But sitting right here, I'm like, ma'am, don't you want to move and put my drink right here? Maybe I can be annoying enough so you can get up and take up one of these other 14,000 empty seats in this whole friggin' theater. Why would you choose to sit right here beside us? Y'all, when I tell you my blood was boiling, my blood was boiling. I'm like, you know what? You know this was going to happen. I didn't have like an inkling that it was going to happen. It's something that I thought would never happen. And we just kind of joked about it. And we literally laughed about it. But when we got into the theater, I had got over my initial festivity. We was just sitting there laughing. You know how you be laughing quiet and you try to laugh quiet, but the more you try to be quiet, it just gets a little louder. So that's what we was kind of doing all while the previews and stuff going on, because we couldn't imagine that this would actually happen, something that we joked about. And I was like, you know what? And Betty decided she wanted to talk to us through the movie. So Alicia, maybe she didn't want to be alone. How did she know we were going to be personable people to talk to, right? Don't talk. We trying to watch the movie. We here the first time seeing it. Thank you, Pootie. This is our first time seeing the movie. Don't talk. We don't even want you sitting here beside us. Don't talk to us during the movie, right? And then when it go off, that was such a good movie. Well, you have such beautiful children. I know my children are beautiful. Why did you choose this seat? Like, I could not get over that. And then when we walked out, not only did she sit right beside us on the same row, literally purchased the empty seat that was left beside our family of 7. She decided to escort us out. I'm like, look, if this woman don't get gone somewhere, why is she still talking to us? She picked the one empty seat beside a whole family of 7. She could have picked all these other billions of seats in this theater. And she walked out talking. They have such pretty long hair. And I'm like, woman, if you don't go get in your vehicle. And what was crazy, I thought she was just kind of walking with us talking. But this lady had parked right beside us. Or rather, she was there before we got there. We parked beside her. This just plucked my nerves like no other that whole day. Like, you can tell I still feel some kind of way about it because I'm just like, how could this even happen? And you would think you get there, even when you get there, say if I had did that by mistake, not even paying attention, and maybe I thought, this is the only row left or whatever, pick this, even if I misunderstood my calculation of picking up the seats in the movie theater, when I got there, if I was by myself, I would have felt a little uncomfortable. Wait a minute, boo. I would have got up and removed myself. I would have saw that the whole theater was still empty. And even if I felt bad about switching seats because you have to sit in the seat you're assigned, I would have asked, excuse me, you know what? The theater is pretty much empty. And I didn't realize I chose a seat sitting beside a whole family of 7. Can I just move a row up, over, behind, over? And they would be like, yes, sure, ma'am. Yes, you can go. We'll find you. Just press the button so we can bring you your food. She didn't do that. She didn't think to do that. How do I know she didn't think to do that? Because she sat and she was comfortable she was so comfortable that she talked to us through the whole movie. Like we knew her for years. Like she was a family friend. Y'all can tell I feel some kind of way about this still. It's been 2 weeks. But I'm like, this is crazy. Okay, so I done took my time. We gotta hurry up and get out of here. Yes, it is. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Who goes to? I saw her on her phone. Who goes to the movie theater just to not watch the movie?
I don't know. Some people just go to the movie just to annoy the other people sitting in the movies, like a whole family of 7. I said, next time we come to the movies, she ordered food. And we figured we can use this extra chair to put some of the extra stuff, because we ordered pizzas for the kids. They got buffalo cauliflower bites and all these drinks. So you got, I'm just like, I'm thinking I got this cup holder. We're going to use this extra chair and tray, put our stuff on. I'm like, you know what? Next time we go to the movies, I'm going to purchase the whole row. That way we won't ever have to worry about this again. And even when we go, because we don't want nobody sitting beside us. And when me and James go, if they don't have 2 seats, we'll sit in 4. We're going to purchase some extra 2 seats so nobody sit on our row. Right? So I'm just like,
why would you do that?
So we can have space.
But the food is blocking the
maybe I'm the petty one. Am I petty? But I'm just saying, maybe I was petty. We still call her Petty Betty, right? We was joking the day before. I was like, if anybody purchased that, I said they would really be petty because they would be doing that on purpose. It'd either be Petty Pat or Petty Pete or Petty Betty, whatever. And sure enough, we had Petty Betty sitting beside us when we walked in to take our seats on row F in the movie theater with our family of 7. All right, y'all, let me get out of here. We gotta go. We got an early appointment this morning. Love y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out. It is Wednesday, March the 30th. 2022, day 69 of year 4 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets, and of the 4-year consecutive day count, day 1087. We read the rest of the smut and tablet U, and we read the first half of chapter 33 in my big toe. All right, y'all, with that being said, may y'all continue to bless and keep all of us, bless the work of our hands, and may we be able to use the information that we give, and may it manifest as wisdom in our life to be a blessing to us and those who cross our path. All right, beautiful people, I love y'all. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace. No. Again?